Well, it wasn't so long ago that thousands of people packed into their cars and onto buses and MAX trains during rush hour. Remember that? They poured into downtown Portland every single weekday, all day from about 7 in the morning until after 6. The lines for a latte in the morning were long. At lunchtime, the lines at local cafes and restaurants were even longer. You might remember that all across downtown were restaurants that catered almost exclusively to the office worker crowd that commuted in some way and spent their day downtown. So in 2019, we profiled the Garden Bar, where if you were willing to drop around $15, yeah, this was pre-inflation, pre-COVID supply shocks, you could get a fresh, customized salad, again, $15 plus. Here's what the owner and customers told us then.
The minute we opened the Pearl store, it was such, the city just embraced it. It was very well received.
I love the concept. I love eating healthy.
I work just across the street, so it's quick and easy and very healthy, so I come here pretty much every other day.
Convenient, quick, easy. Okay, now at the risk of stating the obvious, downtown looks a little bit different. The office workers mostly gone. The businesses that benefited from having them nearby have also struggled. The Garden Bar has closed all of its locations during the pandemic, and so did coffee shops and other restaurants, just without that extra influx of customers. So many of those office workers say, guess what? We're not coming back. We enjoy the flexibility of working remote, for example. Now, according to Prosper Portland, that is the economic and urban development agency for the city, office vacancy in downtown Portland is hovering around 26%. That's not occupancy, but vacancy around 26%. So more than 1 in 4 offices right now sitting empty. And even more of the businesses that catered them, they are also still dark. And this, no surprise, not just a Portland problem. We know it is happening in other places across the country. Case in point, the New York Times published a piece that we think is definitely worth your time. So this story is about San Francisco, but you could pretty much easily replace that with the Rose City, and not too much would change here, a little bit. But San Francisco's tech workers have left downtown. They don't need to work in an urban core anymore. It is easier to work remotely. Office vacancy also high in San Francisco, and the businesses serving expensive salads, you know, it seems like every city has at least one. In San Francisco, it was called Mixed, M-I-X-T, and they lost, yeah, their customer base. But some have figured out a way to survive by following their customer base, the office workers, out to their homes, opening up locations in the suburbs. In this case, it's a very upscale Marin County town. And here's part of the article. Quote, many of the former office workers who live there have yet to return downtown en masse, but their purchases over the past 3 years have shown that they still want downtown perks and services like a freshly prepared lunch. So Mixed opened the Mill Valley location this year as part of a push to generate more business in residential neighborhoods and suburbs. For all the daily rhythms that were upended by home offices, the desire for a specially prepared lunch seems to have endured. Maybe some socialization as well. All right, this is certainly something we have seen happen in the Portland area. Plenty of restaurants that were once exclusive to the city core have moved out to other neighborhoods or even to the suburbs, and they are finding, they tell us, plenty of customers. But where does that leave downtown? Because there's been a lot of talk about, quote, reimagining what downtowns are actually used for. Let's talk about a study by UC Berkeley that we highlighted earlier this year. It showed that cities like Portland and San Francisco that rely on tech workers to fill downtown, they aren't recovering as quickly as other cities. The researchers encouraged using downtown for arts and entertainment and expanding residential options. Yep. That is something that Portland is considering. Turns out, so is San Francisco. We're going to have a link to the full New York Times article. Definitely worth your time on our social media platforms.